This is Students on Sport.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Student on Sport podcast. Today I am joined by two very good friends of mine. I am joined by Tottenham Hotspur fan Tom Parkinson.
Hi Jack, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you, mate. And I'm also joined by United fan Edward Peel. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing bad, Jack. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. We're going to start off, and I feel like it's going to cause some arguments today, but we're going to start off. We have to agree on this. I'm going to clear this up now. We have to agree. We can't disagree. We're going to do like a combined Big 6-11. I'm doing... You can argue Leicester should be in there, but I'm doing the traditional Big Six. So we've got Liverpool, United, City, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Spurs. Okay, we're going to do a combined 11, and you have to choose two players. We have to choose two players from each team, and we have to have one sub because obviously 6. Then end up with 12. So who do you right, Tom? I'm going to ask you first. Who would you put in net?
Kane.
You've got anyone from the Big Six?
I'm just going to automatically say Kane, but in the goalkeeper, I'm not so. Scrap Chelsea, scrap Arsenal, both awful.
Bear in mind, you only have 2 players from each team, though.
I know.
Yeah, that's the
You
issue.
want to use an Alisson and Edison.
I wouldn't take Lloris personally.
Don't leave you a lot of choice.
You know what I'd probably do? I'd probably go for De Gea, I think.
You know what? I agree with him because I'm thinking where else would I take players from?
Yeah,
and I think I will probably go with De Gea. Pio, how do you feel about De Gea being obviously a United fan?
Yeah, he had a bit of a wobble last night against Everton.
Did he? I didn't see that. What happened?
Awful. He made a mistake on the second goal when he just palmed the ball straight to Doucouré. Oh, that was the first either. And then on the third goal, the equaliser, he just didn't come out at all.
Well, I saw Mark Goldbridge. I think his last name's Goldbridge or something. Yeah. Saw his reaction to the equaliser. That was quite funny. But so are we happy with De Gea then?
Yeah. Well, I'll take. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one from United down. Okay. So we've only got one United player left, and I feel like we know who that's going to be.
Know that being, yeah.
What we're saying about right back. I feel like purely because I want to take Liverpool players from elsewhere, I'd say Kyle Walker.
Or Cancelo.
I think Kyle Walker's class, or Cancelo's a shout, to be fair.
He's had a great season.
See, I'm thinking about this now. I'm going to struggle to put a single Arsenal player in this team.
That's the thing. Because the Arsenal best player is, like, obviously Aubameyang, but you've got Harry Kane to throw in there as well. So
I feel like you've got to try to find a way to get them in. Right, I'll go Cancelo.
Yeah.
I'm happy with Cancelo. We have to think though, where else would we get City players from? Without revealing our answers yet, we have to think where else we'd get City players from. I think I'm happy with Cancelo. I'd take either Cancelo or Walker. Cancelo has been playing well, to be fair, because he was injured for a bit.
Yeah.
I've got a theory, right, that Guardiola does this on purpose. I reckon he just injures his new players on purpose for a bit, and then when they come back, they look class.
Yeah.
He's been injured for ages.
So the hype dies down a bit.
Yeah.
How much money on
he wants to go under the radar a bit, but he's quality, Cancelo.
To be fair, with the money he spends on fullbacks, you'd expect him to be good.
Yeah,
so,
God.
But yeah, I mean, are we all happy with Cancelo then?
Yeah, I'd say Cancelo over Walker.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Right, first centre back. I feel like it's got to be Van Dijk, surely. We're saying obviously without injuries because all of our centre backs are dead currently. So I think we'll go Virgil centre back.
Preston boy, don't worry.
Say again.
You still got the Preston boy, don't worry.
Yeah, Ben Davies. But I think to be fair, him and Kabak are good signings.
Turkish lad as well.
Yeah, Turkish one. Yeah. Well, we're playing City today. We're filming this on Sunday, and we're playing City at 4:30. I expect Kabak to start. So bear in mind when this video comes out, I might be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. So are we happy with Van Dijk there? Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Right, other centre back. I'm going to ask Eddie first. Who would you put other centre back? So we've taken one United player, one City player, and one Liverpool player.
See, your problem is City have been so good defensively. You'd want to put someone like Diaz in, or even John Stones. John Stones has done well, but then that means you're done with City players.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't put an Arsenal centre half in. Obviously.
No, you can't. You just can't.
Abysmal.
I think our substitute is going to have to be an Arsenal player. I think. I do apologise for that, Arsenal fans, but we are going to have to put one probably as a substitute.
I don't apologise.
I didn't expect you to.
In terms of centre halves, I'd maybe be tempted to box off a Chelsea player, maybe.
That's exactly. I was thinking Thiago Silva.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Kurt Zouma. See, I would have gone Kurt Zouma if it was still Lampard time. and he was still playing, but he's missed like the last 4 games.
Yeah.
And defensively, they've been solid, and Thiago Silva's sort of been more of a consistent because he's now that Tuchel's in, Tuchel loves him. He's like Tuchel's right hand man, and I think he'll thrive. Like there was talks of him getting an extra year on his contract now that he's there. So
already,
yeah.
Well, it's kind of like I think Thiago Silva kind of has like a similar sort of thing to Van Dijk. When Van Dijk plays for Liverpool, he makes the other centre back look a lot better than he is.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying like they're not as good. I'm not saying Liverpool centre backs aren't that good, but he makes them look a lot better. I think Thiago Silva's the same, so I'd happily put Thiago Silva in there.
Yeah, I agree.
So we've got now United player down. We've got De Gea so far, Cancelo, Van Dijk, and Thiago Silva. What we said about left back?
I'm thinking instantly Kieran Tierney.
That's not a bad shout, to be fair. That's not a bad shout.
I feel like left back wise, I could say Reguilon, but then I've got other Spurs players that I prefer to put elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then if you're looking at City, it's sort of they've been a bit mishmash. Like this season, you've either have Mendy, Zinchenko, even Laporte's had a pop, but there's not been one player like nailed down the spot.
Yeah.
You could say Robertson, but again, I think you'd want to save the Liverpool player. And I think that it's a good way of. He's one of the few Arsenal players that I think has the possibility to get into a team of this caliber.
See, this now, if we put Tierney in there, this now kind of messes up the midfield that I had in my mind. So, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think what else we could have because we don't want to waste.
If we didn't use De Gea in there, Luke Shaw has had such a good season so far.
Yeah, Luke Shaw's been class this season, but I don't want to waste the extra United player. I'm thinking Ben Chilwell because where else are we going to put a Chelsea player? And I think Chilwell's better than Tierney.
That's why
I feel like. Oh no, I was going to say Mason Mount, but he's been playing Mason Mount's one of those players. He plays good, but he doesn't really seem to get the necessary like goal returns and stuff. Well, like, you hear from a lot of Chelsea fans that he's a quality. Like he sort of got written off as like Lampard's kid, but he plays well. But it's just those goals you'd expect from him aren't really there.
Yeah, I think with the midfield I've got in my head now, there's no chance a Chelsea midfielder gets in there, and I don't think any of the Chelsea front three will get in there as well. So I'm chucking Ben Chilwell.
What's your midfield?
I'm not going to reel that yet. I'm going to discuss. We'll choose left back first. So we've got now options of Tierney, Chilwell, and Luke Shaw. We need to agree on it. I'm chucking Chilwell in there because I don't think we can get another Chelsea player in there.
I would only say one other Chelsea player in midfield. I don't think it's on either of your minds. Kante. I know he's not.
He's ghosted a bit this season, though.
He's not that kind of player that sticks out, though, is he?
No, he's not a player. Yeah, he's not like a goals and assists kind of player.
Pops up with,
but he is quality. If you were saying about if we're putting Van Dijk in, considering he's been like injured for most of the season, I think it's more than valid to have Kante in the middle.
I've got a midfield in my head, though. I've got a midfield in my head, and I feel like you two will agree with it. Because it kind of we've not had a Tottenham player yet, have we?
No.
Okay.
Come on.
Right, I'm happy to stick Tierney in there then. If we want to discuss maybe possible Chelsea midfielders,
I think that. Well, who was the Arsenal midfielder then that you were thinking?
Are we solidifying Tierney at left back? Is that what we're going for?
Well, I'm going to say we can either have Tierney, Kante, or Chilwell in your Arsenal one.
Well, I was going to say Thomas Partey.
No,
but that's what I'm saying. So I wouldn't have Kante either. The midfield I've got in my head is completely different. That's why I feel like we need to take Chilwell here.
If it's just the 2-2 swap, then it doesn't. You're doing an Arsenal for a Chelsea.
Yeah, true. Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, we'll sit Tierney in there because he's been good this season.
I understand what you're saying. I would probably put Chilwell above Tierney, but I wouldn't put Thomas Partey in a sniff of Kante.
No. Okay. Are we all happy with Tierney then?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. Midfield. We don't need to bother with CDMs, cams, whatever. We'll just do 3 midfielders and then we'll go on to a front 3. First one, Tom, you'll agree with me, definitely has to be there. Is Ndombele. 100%. He has to be in there.
Of course.
The way he moves, like I hate to say it, like I did an article on this ages ago about like which players in the Premier League. There's a difference between having skill and source. And Ndombele he is just an absolutely source player. Like just the way he glides with the ball, he's so good.
It's the reincarnation of Moussa Dembele, and I'm here for it every minute of it.
I mean, I've got to chuck him in there. Peel, are you throwing McTominay in there or what?
Yeah. I wouldn't put McSauce in there, but I know you both just disagree with me.
I wonder why.
In this midfield now, Jordan Henderson doesn't get a shout because of how good it is, in my opinion.
No, I would. To be honest, I would agree with you. Being like with how good Jordan Henderson is, this midfield is incredible. You know.
But the only thing I say is that Ndombele's only been in the Premier League for what?
2 years.
2 years.
Did
you hear
the first year he kind of
season?
His first season, it was sort of a combination of not being match fit and being out of favour with the manager.
Because I did that bloody once to watch objective and he didn't get an upgrade.
I know. It was such a waste of time. Oh God.
So
right, for him to be along the sides of like your De Bruyne as your Fernandes, I don't see him alongside De Bruyne and Fernandes.
He's not up that level at the moment.
He's a good player, but I wouldn't put him in a midfield with them two when there's players like De Bruyne. There's players like
in terms of what we're doing now, though.
I would take Henderson over Ndombele.
Yeah, but would you not take Salah? Would you not take? Because then you're going to lose Salah on the right, and he's your top goal scorer. You're gonna if you're taking that, you're putting option out.
My thinking.
Yeah,
my thinking
yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Is having Ndombele in there gives us options for the front three. Because if we use Ndombele, that's our first player.
Kane and Son. Come on.
Oh yeah, Son. I forgot about Son as well. So right. So now we've got the defence done. So we've got one United player down, one City player down with De Gea and Cancelo. Van Dijk's one Liverpool player. Thiago Silva's one Chelsea player, and Tierney's one Arsenal player.
One player other than everything except for Spurs.
We've not used Spurs yet. I think Ndombele is a shout in there.
I'm just going to get one of these out of the way. I'm saying Bruno walks in to the middle and they cut off the United one. You can't not have Bruno, realistically.
We'll have Bruno in there. So that's United done. We can't have any United players again now.
Yeah. And then I'd also say, personally, I'd be saying De Bruyne. I'd be taking De Bruyne. And then I'd also be taking Kante as my midfield three. I think realistically, that can't go. You can't really get.
Yeah, we did just forget about Kante then.
You wouldn't have Ndombele though, Tom.
No, because you'll know when you hear my front three.
I would never have heard Tom say you wouldn't have Ndombele. You know.
I know, but
wow.
As much as I'd love to, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, right?
Yeah. So we've got Bruno and De Bruyne are definitely in there. So that's United and City done. Can't have any more of them. And then are we having Kante in there as well?
I'd take Kante, yeah.
So Chelsea's done as well. So we've got 2 Spurs players left. One Liverpool player left.
Know who that is.
And who else have we got? We've got 2 Liverpool. We've got 1 Liverpool.
One Arsenal.
2 Spurs, 1 Arsenal.
We'll just put Pepe on the bench or something.
Have our Pepe on the bench. Right.
So I think your front three.
Yeah, we'll go right wing first. It's got to be Mo Salah.
Mo Salah, yeah,
has to be. He's the best. I would put him up there, best player in the Prem. Like I wouldn't label him as best player, but I'd say he's level with them.
I wouldn't say that.
I think if Salah, because Salah runs a bit weird. Do you not think like his technique's a bit off?
To run properly, be better. Is that what you're?
That's what I'm saying. People watch football and they think, oh, his technique's awful. That's why people don't rate him. Because to be honest, his technique is not the best, but he produces
as much as he does.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I think people don't rate him, because he, like I said, because he runs a bit weird. That is genuinely the only reason why. But I think we've got to have Salah in there.
Yeah, I think you can't not really
as well, and he broke the goal scoring record. I was just thinking, then he does go quiet in games every now and then, but then when he scores, they come in bunches. Like
he always bounces back though. That's the thing.
I'm hoping he grabs a bunch this afternoon against City, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
And then I think we're both gonna have Harry Kane up top.
Yeah. When you say Salah is the best player in the league, in my opinion, Harry Kane, how important he is to us and how quality he is. Like, he's not just, when everyone thought he was this one season wonder that just scored tap-ins, the way that he plays now is ridiculous. It's incredible.
I love what Mourinho does.
Striker for Mourinho, because he
but I think he could walk into this team quite easily, and he could walk into any team in the world. Yeah. The only one I'd let you argue with me on is Bayern.
I knew you'd say that.
Other than that, I think he gets into any team.
The way Mourinho's transformed him into kind of like a centre forward sort of thing. The passes he plays are just ridiculous. You don't expect him to do
a box-to-box striker. He does what Firmino does, but actually runs.
Yeah, he does what Firmino does, but he actually does it.
I wouldn't have that. No.
Just go quiet.
Right. So we're having Salah right wing, Kane up top.
Yeah.
Right. Left wing.
Sonny.
Gabriel Martinelli.
I think.
Yeah, I have Martinelli as well. So he's out. Yeah, we're done with this now. Martinelli.
I'll give you an unbiased one again. I think realistically, on the left, you can put either Son or Aubameyang there. I think they're your last 2 players. And obviously, I'm going to say Son because Aubameyang's he just does backflips against Norwich.
Well, I'm going to say based on this season and this season alone, I'd have Son in there. Maybe if it was based overall, that might change my mind. But I'm happy to have either Son or Aubameyang left wing, and then either whoever else is left on the bench. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah,
I would say if we still
I'm taking
left. I'd say Marcus Rashford because I still think the fact that Rashford's still scoring goals. When we as a manager, I think it's pretty incredible.
If we didn't take United players already, he would be in there, but I don't think he reaches somewhere.
He's not there. The thing with Rashford that I seem to think is he just if you say that Salah's inconsistent, Rashford, like the man just goes.
He hasn't had a day off since he was 18. Literally, he's barely been injured.
Give him an excuse if you want. It's the same. The players that are holding your club back are Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial. I'll just say it.
I don't know.
Hold him back.
The left wing. Did you not see the cross he put in for Cavani on right?
It was a good ball.
He plays him right wing, out of position every now and then. And
he plays anywhere actually front three. And but you're relying on goals from them. Realistically,
I'd agree with you in Martial, but I think you're being a bit harsh on Rashford.
Yeah, I'd agree with Eddie. I think you are being a bit harsh. I would say I would never say he's holding United back. I wouldn't say that. I mean, I agree with you in the sense it doesn't reach like on Aubameyang level, but I don't agree with that. He holds United back. No,
my way of thinking, right, is that if you are at United, okay, obviously you've got Rashford. He's like your local hero. You all love him, right? But 1 week he's playing on the left. Next week he's playing up top. Next week he plays on the right, and you're just sort of bouncing him about these positions. What?
That is, to be fair, that isn't his choice.
Yeah, that's not his fault. To be fair, I just feel like if you nailed him down in one place, kept him there, he'd get so much more out of him rather than moving him about all the time, trying to get into loads of different things.
Well, we've got our 2 United players in there anyway, so I'm happy to put Son there and have Aubameyang on the bench. Are you 2 happy with that as well?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So what we think, you can let us know if you think differently, but what we think is the combined big 6-11, 2 players from each team. We've got De Gea in net. We've got Cancelo at right back, Van Dijk and Thiago Silva at centre back, with Tierney at left back. Middle 3, Kante, Bruno, De Bruyne, and then we've got Salah, Kane and Son with Aubameyang on the bench. I think that's a solid team. I think that team could beat anyone.
That team could walk the league.
That team could walk the league easily.
Yeah.
Right, we'll move on now. Obviously, January transfer window has just finished. So, Tom, I'm going to go to you first. How do you think the transfer window was for you in Spurs? There wasn't a lot of movement, but
we don't do anything. The one thing that I could talk for hours about was poor old Paolo Gazzaniga.
I didn't even know he left.
He'd gone out on loan. Yeah. So it's so sad because he was never like best keeper in the league. He was never like that, but he was a quality backup. Like when Hugo's arm popped off, he did a job for us. He was never wrong. He was a nice character, but with the homegrown rules, bringing Joe Hart in, he just hasn't had a sniff. So it wasn't fair to keep him.
I would have been happy if we signed Gazzaniga instead of Adrian for our backup.
I don't blame you.
Well, obviously, yeah, but
you'd have done a better job than Adrian.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got now, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
I would have had
I'm a Spurs fan. We're not used. I'm used to us doing nothing in a window.
Right, Eddie, how was the transfer window for you in United?
Basically, we signed the next best player in the world.
Diallo. Give over.
You're playing under 23s, is that right?
Under 23s at the moment, and he's
at the moment.
Oh, right.
At the moment, and he's absolutely tearing it up there. So that's my opinion. And then we got rid of Fosu Mensah to buy Leverkusen.
Did you?
His contract was going to expire. He had 6 months left, so they got rid of him. But then, I'd say the only good thing about our window is the loan system.
Yeah.
We've loaned out a bunch of youngsters. Like Teddy Mendy is a centre half. He's gone to Derby on loan. Essentially, apparently Wayne Rooney rang up Solskjaer, or I think Solskjaer was either way, and they just said, "Do you want any players?" And he said, "Mendy on loan. He's a good centre half for him." Ethan Lair's gone to MK Dons. And he's a good young right back.
It's good to get outgoings, though, as well as good as it is to get players come into the club. It's good to get players out and get some experience in there as well.
We shipped out quite a lot of players on loan as well. Just like you sort of under 23 like fringe players. Mauricio Pochettino's son went as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
the end of the contingency.
Yeah, because I saw an under 23 game with Tottenham. It was Tottenham Arsenal. I think it ended 1-1. And I saw Mauricio Pochettino on the bench, and I thought, "Who the hell's that?" I didn't know.
Arrogance to name you.
Yeah, it's just him and like Danny Rose cutting it about in the under 23.
So you
if you as well, Clarky.
Say again.
Got Lingard out on loan as well.
Oh yeah, he's doing well. He's doing well for West Ham.
His debut scores 2 goals, but then blanked against Fulham.
I know. Well,
but Fulham don't
tell me So if you could rate your window out of 10 for Tottenham, what would you give it?
What? Well, the only piece of business that we did made me sad. So about a 1.
About 1. All about United.
I'm saying like a 6. I'm saying because we've got
6 in that.
The next best player in the world.
Over. He's a kid. He's literally a kid.
Because he's like 18, 17.
What happened to Adnan Januzaj?
That's a bit different. he was being managed.
Plays on the right, doesn't do anything.
There's nothing you can judge him off yet. He's played like 2 games. You can't judge him too early, but I think
4 up your under 23, Clarky.
I did see that. I had to write a match report on that. That kind of pained me a little bit, to be fair. Right.
What about Liverpool? What do you think to Liverpool's, Clarky?
We did what we had to do. I think we left it way too late because we've already dropped points because of it. I feel like people are saying the defense isn't the issue. We weren't scoring goals, which is fair enough. We weren't, but that's because we're using all our midfielders as centre halves, so we've got no midfield to get the ball forward. The only one we've got who does that is Thiago, and as good as he is, he can't do it on his own. So I think we've just left it way too late. I mean, I'm happy with what we've done. Michael Edwards, again, genius. I mean, I think we spent 1.5 million or 2 million up front for both of the centre backs, and Kabak's like on an option to buy with a loan, because if he doesn't perform, then we're going after. Who was it? It's not Upamecano. It might be Upamecano's in there somewhere.
I think there was Upamecano in. There was a Portuguese centre half as well, wasn't there?
Something like that. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Something like that. But I think Ben Davies coming to us and then Van der Berg going to Preston on loans, quite a good deal. See, because Van der Berg, I think when he played for us against Arsenal in the FA Cup, he played quite well. I know we conceded 5. But if you take that away, he played all right. No, I think we've done a good bit of business money-wise. We've not spent too much, and it just depends how they play. I mean, Kabak, I think Schalke were asking for about 30 million for him in the summer, and we just got him for about 500 grand.
I don't understand how a club that are performing as badly as them can ask 30 million pound for one of the people that's supposed to.
Well, in the summer, they weren't doing that bad. That's why they wanted that much.
Yeah.
And we were going to go for him, but I'm happy we waited now because I think it was about 1 million we got him for with an option to buy for like 18 million euros or something like that. I'm not sure. I might be wrong, but overall, I'm happy. I mean, I'm hoping Kabak starts tonight because I know, or this afternoon, sorry, because I know Fabinho's back. So I would like to see Kabak and Fabinho in centre half, and then have Henderson move back into midfield, and then that'll hopefully let us progress forward a bit more.
Alisson or not?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain he's back. I mean, I'm confident in Kelleher anyway. I mean, obviously he's not as good as Alisson, obviously, but I'm quite confident. Hey,
I don't rate Kelleher at all.
Ginger Buffon, mate.
No, don't. He's terrible.
I think he's a good player.
Anything's better than the Adrian tax.
It is. As much, I know we meant to back you players, but whenever we start Adrian, we may as well start the game 2-0 down. It's just how it works. I want to back him, but it's getting. I think he will leave in the summer anyway because his contract's running up, and I think Karius is coming back as well.
Oh, great! That's a toss-up, isn't it?
Karius, right? Yeah, all right, fair enough. But yeah, anyway, I think I'd give ours. I'd give it. I mean, we just did what we had to do. We didn't really make any amazing signings, but we just did what was expected of us. So I'd just give it. I'd give it like a 5 or a 6, maybe. A Porsche a 7. Because we just did what we had to do. The reason it's not like a 7 or an 8 is because we left it too late. We could have signed maybe a better player, but I've never seen Ben Davies play. I don't watch a lot of Bundesliga, so I've not seen Kabak play too much. But you never know. There might be, you know.
If they turn out well, you've had a great window.
Exactly. You just have to wait and see.
Play alongside Van Dijk and do really well, then obviously it's going to be a good window, especially. But
don't you think the reason why you've left it so late though was just because of like your owners not wanting to buy anyone unless they really had to, and when you really like Phillips and Henderson playing centre back.
Our owners, to be fair, Phillips has stepped up a bit. I mean, I would start Davis and Kabak over him.
Yeah,
Phillips is a good little like second choice. He's been playing all right. I mean, against Tottenham, he had a really good game. I think he might. If Mane didn't score and get an assist, no, Trent got man of the match, didn't he? Because he scored and got an assist. If he didn't score, I think I would have given man of the match today to Phillips.
I don't think that happened.
Well, yeah. Anyway, so we'll move on now. We're talking about January transfer windows. We'll move on to what do we think is the best transfer in January that's to happen in like recent years. I feel like this is going to cause a few arguments, but
just leave him to talk. Just leave him. Give him a few minutes.
No one can tell me that it's not Bruno Fernandes. I'm sorry.
He's up there. He's up there with.
He's up there.
Yeah.
He's up there.
Van Dijk was signed in January.
He's injured. What's he done this
season?
season?
No, I mean,
how many goals and assists has he got? How many Fernandes got? We wouldn't have won the league and the Champions League and all them trophies if we didn't have Van Dijk. If we had Joel Matip or Joe Gomez, it's fair enough they are good players, but we wouldn't have won as much as we did with Van Dijk. We spent like 50 odd million on Fernandes as well.
Yeah, he weren't too.
He's cheaper.
Bruno.
I think we signed Alisson in January as well.
Have you ever signed anybody in January?
Have you ever signed anyone?
Recently, Lucas Moura. You know, he had one. He scored a hat trick in the Champions League semi-final, and then he just annoyed us ever since.
Tom, I'm going to give you some good news, by the way, mate. Harry Kane's just scored.
Oh, you. See,
Højbjerg assist as well.
Højbjerg. He's.
Was he not January signing?
No, summer.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
I think you've got
Daniel Levy to do business in January. He's like squeezing water from a rock.
Yeah,
I've got one. Suarez.
I'm going to have a look now. I'm going to grab my phone. I'm going to cheat a bit. I'm going to have a look.
Liverpool for 22.8 million in January. Granted, he didn't win anything.
PL.
We've got to say.
Yeah, but still.
We got Everett. Oh, I had a good little look.
I know, I'm having a look now. I'm going to see if we've got any names. Everett's up there. Vidic as well. Vidic for United feels up there.
Oh my God. Vidic is better than Van Dijk. So I put Bruno for, yes, he is. Don't look at me like that.
So if you just claim Vidic was better than Van Dijk?
Vidic is better than Van Dijk.
Well, I would have to say it's a very close one.
It is close.
Right. Because they're not really, I wouldn't say they're the same type of player. But I would honestly, as much as it pains me, have to say that the impact that Van Dijk has had at Liverpool is just not as much as what Vidic did at United.
United were a good team, though, to be fair. To be fair to Eddie, to back Vidic there, United were already quite a good team.
I'd take Vidic.
You take Vidic?
Close one, but I'd take Vidic.
So if you could sign either of them now for Spurs, you'd take Vidic?
Yeah. We need some grit in our Spurs defence because we've got none. We've just got a load of flaky centre-halves at the moment.
You know what? Your team, Spurs, are so good kind of everywhere apart from defence. Like, when we played you, when we beat you 3-1, I don't want to keep bringing it up, but I will do.
Just keep bringing it up.
Your defence cost you all. Like, it wasn't just one; it was all 3 goals. The first one was played across the box. Lloris should have come out and got it, or I think it was Alderweireld.
It was Aurier as well.
Ben Davies played him on side as well. The second goal, Lloris parried it out straight to Trent. He could have easily either caught it or parried it out for a corner or away from Trent. Went straight to him. And the third goal, Joe Rodon should have cleared the clear.
The first two are just poor mistakes, yeah. But the third one, Joe Rodon's sort of been thrown in because the other centre halves aren't playing well enough. Simple enough. And it's a mistake, but other than that, he played fine that game.
If you could sign anyone, let's say in the Prem, if you sign anyone in the Premier League right now for Tottenham, just to improve your team, not just like the best one, not like De Bruyne just because he's the best.
Oh, easily, right? So there were two lads that we were linked with. Mm-hmm. One of them was the last transfer window. The one was the one before that. It was Bruno, who we were linked with, the transfer window before. And there was Ruben Diaz we were linked with in the summer. It's the same old problem. If we would have signed those two players, we would be.
We were also linked to Ruben Diaz because we're linked with everyone.
So we got closer to Bruno than we did to Diaz because Benfica were asking too much, and then we went on to Skriniar, who we just tried, didn't happen.
Well, it's the Portuguese thing, isn't it, with Mourinho?
Yeah, again, so that's another reason. But the Bruno deal was happening alongside with the. Oh, it heartbreaks me talking about it. The Dybala deal. That was supposed to. It was literally. It was on the brink of happening, right? And then we went for Dybala instead of Bruno, and then it fell through because of his image rights. That was literally.
Really?
We agreed every other terms, all the other terms we agreed, but he wanted something ridiculous for his. It was him and his agents. Well, I think it was more his agents, like the image rights for him, and we just wouldn't pay it. But if we had those two players in our team right now, I think we'd be like walking.
If you had to choose one to have in your team, if you could choose one transfer,
Diaz.
You'd have Diaz. Peter, what about you for United?
Son scored, by the way.
Oh yes, I've got him in my fantasy team.
I'm still top. Don't worry.
I know, mate. I'm still like 100 points behind. Anyway.
I think What was the question? Sorry.
Just any try. You can't have Bruno again. You can't have two of him. But you've got to sign. You can sign any player from the Prem as of right now. Let's say no one's injured. You can sign any player from the Prem.
Any player from the Prem.
Mm-hmm.
So fun. I think I'd just say Van Dijk.
Yeah.
Because Harry Maguire, I do like him, but he'd be a great centre half if he was playing about 10 or 15 years ago. I think.
Do you know what?
Would you take Van Dijk over Maguire rather than over Lindelof or Bailly?
Oh.
I think Bailly's good. You know, I think Bailly's quite good.
Lindelof, no,
got what's it for ankles.
So shaky as a centre half, but Lindelof as a centre half is so good. Playing out from the back, see him pop up with assists from centre half.
Yeah,
pops up with an assist against who did he play? Was it Sheffield? I think.
I saw that goal. Was it to Rashford? The pass was
to Rashford. Yeah.
Lindelof pops up with assists against Sheffield United. Listen to what you're saying. Listen.
Did you score against Sheffield?
Sheffield. Do you not remember when Tanguy Ndombele did an outside of the boot chip over Aaron Ramsdale's head? We kind of cruised him.
Just a cross.
Yeah, he didn't mean it. Are
you joking? I'll give up.
To be fair though, Peel, if you were signing Van Dijk for United, would you want Lindelof next to him? Because Van Dijk plays out the back. Would you want two defenders who do that?
The more your centre halves can play with the ball and play out the back, I think it's the better because then you can build up from attacks rather than just trying to force it through.
Rather than what we do at Spurs, where we just play hoofball with Eric Dyer and Toby Alderweireld.
Rodon's thrown in there every now and then.
Yeah, I think Rodon's a good player, to be fair. But if I was to have any player at Liverpool from the Prem, I hate to say it probably would be Harry Kane. I would put Harry Kane up there with the best players in the world. I think he is absolutely fantastic. He's such a good player. Like I'd have him up front, and then I'd maybe drop Firmino in Cam.
I do hate him for England at the moment, though. Whenever he's played for England recently, I think Harry Kane, because he's been turned into a Mourinho striker, will only suit a Mourinho system. As in, I don't think he'll be able to play as well for England. Like when the last couple of times he played for England, I think he's been poor. Same with
Trent. Well, in the England system, he sort of plays as sort of like the way that Southgate makes him play is very much just like he's a big man. The way that Southgate likes his strikers to play is he wants to use him as like a big unit up top, and then he likes his wingers playing off him. But I don't think it's fair to say that to him.
I just don't think he's been.
Harry Kane's been very important.
You get where I'm coming from. The past couple of games for England,
so he didn't score last. I think it was last year for England.
Tom's going to kick off here.
I'm close. He didn't score for England last year, Harry Kane, but I think you've got to sort of give him a bit of leeway on that. You can't. I think he played 7 games. I think it was. He didn't score. Granted,
I'd have Harry Kane. I think I'd have Harry Kane at Liverpool. I think he is the best striker in the world. Maybe just behind Lewandowski. Actually, today, probably is behind Lewandowski, but there's not many who can beat Lewandowski.
A more complete player than Lewandowski, but Lewandowski is the best striker, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's the best player in the world.
Striker. But I think the way Kane's got more round to him because, like I say, his passing game is incredible now as well. But Lewandowski is a striker. You can't debate with a man that he scores like a goal.
Was it 5 goals in 7 minutes? That was the record.
Yeah. That is ridiculous. Granted, he's doing it in the Bundesliga, but I don't think he's doing it in the Champions League as well.
Yeah.
But
I think if COVID didn't stop the Ballon d'Or, he would have won it by a landslide. Yeah. He deserved it. He definitely. Have you seen that photo we put on his Instagram of him in bed with all his trophies and that? He deserved to have the Ballon d'Or there with him.
Yeah.
He deserved that so much.
He'll still win it now.
Peel, he didn't score him for Poland though, mate. Does that make him a bad striker?
I'm pretty sure he will have scored for Poland. If we need to have a look.
Yeah, no, I think you've got to have Harry Kane for Liverpool. I think he would just. I think if we had Harry Kane, if we had a full fit squad with Harry Kane, we would just win everything.
What would your team would be then if you were to have Harry Kane? How would you play it?
We'd have obviously same defense as usual. Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Robbo. Midfield, we'd have Hendo. Probably. Thing is, I love Genie. I love Naby as well.
He's leaving,
I think. Genie will probably. I hope not.
No.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. I'd have Hendo, Fab, and Thiago. As much as I want to have Keita in there and Wijnaldum in there, it's just not possible. I'd have them 3, and then I'd probably have Salah, Mane, Kane. Maybe if we were playing a bit different, I'd take Fab out, put Hendo and Thiago in the middle, and then have Firmino just behind Kane, play the striker a bit further forward.
Yeah.
But Kane, like you said before, Kane can do the Firmino role. So, I mean, he's obviously not got
the role instead of the Firmino role.
It's not the same role. It's a similar role. Like Kane
does it as well as playing up front, though. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He can get back in the box, carry the ball from deep as well.
Honestly, the amount of time you see Kane drifting around our half for like. He'll be playing just anywhere on the pitch. Or like their team, we're getting pressed in, and you just see Kane stood in our box, and then Son's just stood like on the other side of the pitch waiting because he knows he's going to find him.
Yeah, like that pass. I can't remember who it was against, but Kane was in like the bottom corner of the pitch, and it wasn't even a hoof. It was a perfect pass over the top, like over the halfway line, straight into the final third to Son. And he scored. It was a brilliant pass. But so yeah, right. We'll go back to top transfers from January. So I've got a list here of what are potentially I think 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 6 here, and I want you guys to help me rate them 1 to 6. So we've got Luis Suarez, Patrice Evra, Clint Dempsey, Nemanja Vidic, Virgil van Dijk, and Bruno Fernandes.
Can I say a couple that you're missing?
Go on.
Coutinho.
Was he January?
He went to Liverpool.
He's top. He's got to be top. I would take Coutinho back in a heartbeat. Like I've spoken to other Liverpool fans about it, and they're saying, he was like, you wouldn't have him back. He left us for Barcelona. He left us for the money. I would have him back any time. I absolutely loved him for us.
He's another one who went in January to Leicester, and I had one
more.
Aubameyang went to Arsenal
in January.
Let's have a look. We've got finding these online, so I apologise if the list is a bit. Someone's thrown Sturridge in there. Nemanja Matic. So let's do top 3. What we think January transfer windows are. I think Suarez is in there.
That was Suarez to Liverpool, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you could just.
Suarez and Bruno have got to be in there.
So Suarez, Virgil, Bruno.
It has to be. What about top 5? You can fit 2 more in there.
Vidic.
What about Aubameyang?
I hate
or Coutinho.
No, I'd take Coutinho over Aubameyang because Aubameyang literally has won an FA Cup.
Yeah, but you've got to think the Coutinho did was that Coutinho to Liverpool?
To Liverpool, yeah.
He didn't really get going instantly, did he?
At the end of the day,
he weren't that good when we first signed him. Like he wasn't like a standout player in Brazil.
So if you're putting him alongside these Vidic, Bruno, and Van Dijk, all these players that have had an instant impact. Like the second they join your team, they make it better. And then you look at Coutinho, who sort of got himself going. He was sort of building up a bit. I don't think he's in the same caliber. Again, Suarez I put up there. I wouldn't put up there though.
The only thing I'd say, he's a great striker, but what did he win? That's the only thing I'd say about Suarez. Yeah. Are
you joking?
Suarez was like the best striker to ever play in the Premier League.
But at the end of the day, you can.
Harry Kane's not won anything. Would you say he's a bad player?
What?
Harry Kane's won nothing. Would you say he's a bad player?
I'm not saying Suarez is a bad player. I'm not saying Kane's a bad player. But to be a great player, you need to win stuff.
Bruno hasn't won out at United so far.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt never won a single thing in his life, right? And he was a quality player.
Yeah, I'm not criticising him. I'm just saying you need to be winning stuff to be put.
I would put Suarez as like
I'm putting Suarez
top 3, top 2 Premier League strikers.
Suarez. You should have won the league that year, right? Purely because of Luis Suarez. Yeah. He was that good. He was
so good.
It was like he was playing FIFA with all the sliders turned up to max. Anywhere on the pitch,
especially against Norwich.
I saw something on Twitter that said it was like PlayStation stats. Like I think he played 6 games against Norwich and scored about 12 goals and got 3 assists or something ridiculous.
See, that is
absolutely, it's just silly. So silly. He was so good. I think Suarez has got to be in there. Virgil's got to be in there. That's from a Liverpool fan's perspective. What about would you have Bruno in there? You two? I know Eddie, you would, but Tom, would you have Bruno in there? Yeah, I think you've got to have Bruno in there.
Team upside down.
Yeah, yeah. For what he's done for United, Bruno's got to be in there. So we're saying,
see, the Aubameyang one is a close one.
Yeah,
he's on the verge, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about other one.
If we could have top 5, so we've solidified our top 3 as Suarez, Virgil, Bruno. We are saying recent. We're not saying kind of over time. You know, we just
a decade ago.
Yeah, last 10 years or so. Still, that leaves a lot of options, though.
That means we don't get Vidic, though, doesn't it?
We can have Vidic in top 5. Oh wait, no, it won't be. It won't be. It won't be Vidic. Yeah. So Bruno, Suarez, Van Dijk are in there. Yeah. Is Aubameyang in there?
It's a close one. I'm just trying to. I'm checking. So there's a few that I've seen on here. So
Chris Evra, come on.
Was that not before 2010?
I'm looking. Clint Dempsey. Yeah, I'm just looking at it.
Was Thingy? What am I saying now? Was Thingy not before? Was Evra not before? Like, was it not over 10 years ago?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but we spoke about Vidic, so I just thought.
Oh, first, yeah. Well, I saw Evra. I looked at a few lists before of top transfers from January, and Evra was on like all of them. So,
and Ndidi, you could say Matic. You've got
as a player. I think what he does for Leicester. He goes under the radar. He's like Kante, but
again, if I'm not putting Coutinho in there, I don't think it's justified to put Ndidi in there.
Yeah, I get
what are we thinking about Leicester this year, Eddie? What do you think about Leicester this year and Brendan Rodgers and all that?
I think he's done a great job, to be honest. I think the fact that Brendan Rodgers was so close to winning the title at Liverpool, he was just dropped straight after that, pretty much. I think it was a bit of an embarrassment to him because I thought he did a top job, and then went to Celtic, which is the easiest job in the world, I think. I think anyone could manage Celtic, apart from
not when Gerrard Rangers manager, mate.
Neil Lennon does it every couple of years. He just ends up back at Celtic.
Yeah.
But, I rate him quite highly. At one point, someone said he was going to be the next United manager.
And everyone gets it.
Yeah, true.
No,
would you have United?
That they'd be interested in getting Brendan Rodgers, and I just thought you can't put a former Liverpool manager as a United manager. It works. I think it works both ways as well.
It just doesn't work, does it? But
it doesn't work.
I love Leicester. You know, I think Leicester are. I want to say they're in like the big 6 because the big 6 changes. There was a massive. I saw on Sky Sports ages ago. There's a big discussion on what actually is the big 6 now. Like, would you swap Leicester for Arsenal or Chelsea, who are like 8th at the moment? Arsenal as well aren't in the top 6.
Oh, that's right. Inform you that Spurs are currently 8th.
Oh, West Ham are in the top 6 at the moment. So
what? I'll give over, mate. We beat you 6-1. Do you want me to remind you of that one?
Mate, you can beat you won the battle, but we're winning the war. So.
Ooh! You can tell it's a teacher, can't you?
But yeah, I think I would love. Right, I know Leicester. We've seen Leicester play well in the Premier League. It's when they come up, like when they played us. Whenever we've played Leicester, we usually beat them. We beat them 2-1 at Anfield. We beat them 4-0 at their place. And it's the same with most big teams. I want to see them play in Europe. I want them to get Champions League this year.
They had that one pop after they won the league, didn't they? Where they got they got to the knockouts. Like this year,
they didn't have that good of like the squad now. I would argue is better than that one.
Yeah, overall, it's a strange team though, Leicester, because like they'll sort of get going, they'll hit form, and then they just hit like a weird blip where they'll like lose a couple games or something just for no apparent reason. Like at the moment, granted, they didn't have Vardy, and when you put Iheanacho in instead of Vardy, you've just cut like the amount of goals.
He's back on the bench as well, Vardy now.
Yeah.
Where do Leicester go though when Vardy goes? Because he's like 30, 31 now.
I think realistically they'll be looking at some other people. There's a few options. Like it depends because Leicester's owners, they're not afraid to spend a bit of money. Like they won't break the bank. They're going to spend like 100 mil, but they'll spend like 50 mil looking for.
They'll spend a decent amount.
Yeah, and like I said, Iheanacho isn't going to step up. I don't. He's never been. He's good enough backup. Like he can come in, he can score a goal here or there, but he ain't going to walk into your team. I think that realistically, you're looking at maybe I don't even know. If they're looking lower league, they're going to take like maybe like an Ivan Toney, someone like that.
Yeah, Ivan Toney.
Higher, but then it's a matter of do they go?
Italy have a bunch of great strikers. Like I think like Belotti. Belotti's a striker for.
I feel like they go for younger though.
They were saying he was a top class striker, and then I think he's just completely gone off the radar.
So he went. It's because he stayed loyal to. It's Torino, isn't it?
Yeah.
Torino,
yeah. So Torino
aren't that good.
They went bust. Well, no, they didn't go. But like the team went boom.
Yeah.
He stayed loyal to them.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like they'd go for someone younger. They need someone who can do what Jamie Vardy's done for them for the last 5, 6.
There's not many strikers out there though that are similar to Jamie Vardy.
No, he's not the kind of person that's you're going to replace with another one that'll be running their head off till they're 35. Like for a striker to do that, it's almost like inhuman. Like you don't see any strikers at the age of Jamie Vardy doing what Jamie Vardy does.
Well, if we're talking about strikers, we'll go on to there's 2 youngsters that I think you'll know who I'm on about now, who the world are kind of divided between Haaland or Mbappe. Eddie, who are you having?
I'd take Haaland just because I love him as a character. I love how he interviews.
I'd take Haaland as well. You know,
2 or 3 word responses.
You both taking Haaland?
I'd say Haaland. Yeah. I mean, Liverpool are more likely. I reckon Liverpool are more likely to sign Mbappe, but I would rather have. I'm not saying I wouldn't have Mbappe. I'd obviously happily have him.
You were saying, we've got a new Nike dealership. Mbappe's going to come with it.
Yeah, mate.
That was your thought. That was one of the most laughable things I've seen in my life.
Genuinely though, what I hope to happen, I don't think it will, but what I hope to happen is Messi goes to PSG. They'll have to slow their wages right down. They'll sell Mbappe because his contract runs out in the summer. He'll either go to us or Real Madrid.
I think
you're being very, very optimistic for him to move.
If Messi ever leaves, and say if Messi did go to PSG, Neymar would go the other way. I think that would be something.
Do you reckon Neymar will want to play with Messi again though?
But
Neymar was crying about wanting to go back to Barca a year ago.
Yeah,
and he signed a new deal. And the fact that he signed a new deal either means that he's not going to sign a new contract if he knows that either Mbappe's going or there is another big player coming in. I think.
Yeah, we'll have to do. I mean,
he's not going to sign a 4-year deal to play with like bang average French players, is he?
Yeah, true.
A player because is he like 28 now or something? At Neymar, he's like late 20s.
It was his birthday the other day.
Yeah, so he's pushing late 20s. So he's doing what you would say is the prime of his career. He wants to be sort of up there now. He needs that Champions League. He needs to be right up there, not sort of like pushing, falling.
Well, the thing is, if you're at PSG, it don't matter how many Champions Leagues you win, you're not gonna. PSG aren't like a memorable sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like if you wanted to be top player, like remembered for your time at clubs, you don't remember players.
You're Ronaldo's, your Messi's. If you're at a club, no,
I don't think you can, I don't think it's fair to say Ronaldo's and Messi's though, because they are like levels different. You're looking world class. You're looking at the players that are just below them.
You're Lewandowski, that sort of stuff.
And I think you could still say that for him because like you can't forget like when him, Suarez, and Messi were just making
everything look silly.
Look like the champion. They're looking like League One.
Yeah, they were.
It was just. I think he's still PSG. As long I think. I understand what you're saying. I think that applies domestically because, like I say, the French league is. You've got like the divide between the top and the bottom is ridiculous. But I think as long as PSG are fighting, like realistically challenging in the Champions League, you can get a legacy from that.
You need a semi-final minimum. That's what I'd say. If you want to,
I'd agree with you there.
I just think it's a lot harder to be remembered at a team like PSG. Like
maybe
if you're Ronaldinho, you don't remember him for his time at PSG. You remember his time at AC Milan and stuff like that, and Barcelona. You don't remember his time at PSG. Like, as much as you want to, like, I get why people would disagree with me with that. I don't know. I've always had that feeling about like Ligue 1 though. I've just always had that feeling. I might be wrong.
You're not a big fan of the league, though.
No, not really. No, but that might just be bias coming out there. To be fair, but I think it, like Tom, like you said, it is very optimistic of me to say, you know, Messi goes to Barca and Messi goes to PSG. Sorry, and Mbappe comes to us, but. I mean, we can hope. We're
probably linked with both of them anyway, mate. We probably got 7 deals already.
Yeah. I keep seeing it on Twitter though. That's the thing. Like, it'll go away for like a couple months, and it'll come back like, "Oh, Mbappe is like looking likely to come to Liverpool." And it's like, if Mbappe goes anywhere, it's Liverpool or Real Madrid. It most likely will be Real Madrid though, because unless you're English, most players' dream is to play for Barcelona or Real Madrid. Like, I feel like now that we've established ourselves, Liverpool isn't a stepping stone club anymore. But like when Suarez was with us, when Coutinho was with us, it's like a step for the minute to get to Barcelona. That's the end goal for him, is to be at either Barcelona or Real Madrid.
To get to
the case with most foreign players.
The way of life in Spain.
I feel like with the current state of the La Liga, though, it's not. No one.
What I often see with all these big players is that. When they all say, "Oh, they're linked to Man United," Neymar's linked to City, or Messi's linked to City. Would you rather live in France and Spain, where it's 30-odd degrees every day, nicest, or would you rather go and live in Manchester?
You've got to think about
that plays a massive part, I think, in transfers in general.
I think people kind of disregard Messi as well because he's not. Like, say, Ronaldo's better. I'm not going to get into that whole debate now of who's better, but people disregard Messi because he's not done it in a different league. I think that's just stupid. Like,
it's what he's won, I think, for Messi.
He's done it for so long. Like, it don't make a difference, you know. If he did it in Serie A, if he did it in Bundesliga, he would still be rated as highly as he is. Like,
if you did it in a league, and you wouldn't rate him though, would you?
No. That's the thing, you wouldn't though. I don't think most people, like, he would still be rated, obviously, but he wouldn't be rated as highly as he is, just because I feel like a lot more people would disregard him for playing in League One.
So if Mbappe now was to go to Madrid, spend like the next, say, 10, 15 years at Madrid, would you just forget about these years he's had at PSG?
Depends how he does at Real Madrid.
Unless he wins a Champions League or a Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, true. Because PSG are guaranteed to win League One every year. It's just guaranteed. It's just guaranteed.
With the stuff like that, I think it's more important as to how they perform in the Champions League.
Yeah,
I think it's good. That's a good display if you're looking generally at the top players. The best way to judge them is when they're playing against teams of like elite quality from everywhere.
Well.
You could say your Euros, your World Cups as well.
Yeah.
Mbappe will be right. I think Mbappe will be remembered more for his time at the World Cup than he is like just one World Cup than he has been at his whole time at PSG.
And to be honest, when we're on that Mbappe Haaland discussion, Norway aren't even in the next Euros.
No.
And if, like, do you know how I always say players are rubbish if they don't play internationally, like Harry Kane? You should have squared it.
I knew you've been waiting for that one. Actually, still was side, but keep going.
No, but Haaland, if he's that good of a striker, should be able to. I think Sweden beat them. I can't remember who beat them. It was another one of these mediocre average
it's difficult for players with
get into the Euros. If you're going to be one of the best strikers in the world, you've got to be having a good season, then going and playing internationally at a World Cup or a Euros.
Well, it's a lot harder for players with like niche nationalities like Norway or like Ibra with Sweden.
Feel about how Aubameyang feels.
Yeah, like Aubameyang, yeah.
Aubameyang has to go to the national team. He rocks up and they're just playing on like a random field in the middle of.
Like Salah as well. Like Egypt have a few decent players, but Salah's miles ahead of all of them. And I feel like it's a lot more difficult for players to make a name on an international stage when that's the case. But anyway,
it's loud.
Anyway, I think that's all we've got time for today, lads. I appreciate you two joining me today. If you have enjoyed the podcast, please do subscribe. We've got all our links to the socials down below as well. Thanks for joining us, gents, and we'll see you next time.
This is Students on Sport.